Okay, welcome to the Halawa Fantasy Football League 2021 to 2022 season. Trying something different. Try to do like a video, I don't know, recap. Anyways, just the first things first. One of the things, we had our draft last weekend and it was good. Most people were able to make it except for Mike B. Mike B had some stuff, so he was set on auto pick. And there's something about auto pick. We'll talk about that later. Just the first thing, this year is the first year that we're moving to Yahoo. We've been on ESPN since 2009, so it's been a long time. The reason why we're moving though is that it's just that last year was kind of like the final straw. It has been going downhill. ESPN has been going downhill. Like, I used to be able to post like videos and whatever on the front page, and it had a lot more interesting things to use. But then they started stripping so many things away, and it became like kind of junk. And then after that, last year was the final straw with the whole Taysom Hill fiasco. If you guys remember, according to ESPN, Taysom Hill was a tight end. He was a tight end putting up quarterback numbers. And then, unlike other leagues, ESPN said, he's your problem. You guys figure out what to do with it. And it kind of put a monkey wrench in our season for a couple of weeks. And I was like, I don't want to deal with this headache. Some of the other leagues had the foresight to just like, once he was declared a quarterback, automatically take him off of the tight end position. So it just wasn't a fair thing as far as a point system. So since that happened, we moved to Yahoo, and so far, seems like everybody likes it. It seems to be a lot better. There's a lot of cool things about it. Anyways, we can look at the draft recap. Let me just show them a page. This is the page actually, Yahoo. Bookmark this page. And then we can actually look at the draft overview. Wait a minute, that's wrong. In our league. Where is it? Draft results here. Yeah, so... Oh yeah, welcome Richie. Richie's our newest member. Byron bowed out this year. He was very cordial about it, but he says he can let someone else move in. And then, so Richie is our new guy. So welcome, Richie, aka Blitz and Ritz. And as he came in, he was the first overall pick, so he got to choose Christian McCaffrey. So welcome, Richie. And then our league is kind of tied together by us somehow, some way with the Halawa congregation, and we all have some kind of connection, either like even whether you're married in or we're a member of it at some point. And so that's the reason why our league is called the Halawa Fantasy Football League. It used to be Keepers League, but we got rid of Keepers. And then Richie is very, very appropriate because he's actually the only one who was born in the Halawa congregation. So welcome, Richie. But here's the draft recap. Richie went first, and Darren had second. Mike LaRue had third. Mediocre Minions, 3-time champion Jeremy is fourth. Aaron, fifth. Magoon Squad, that's Morgan. Prince Llama, James, Gary, Mike Bidding. Who's Love Hurts? Brad. And then me. I had the final pick. So, you guys all know the results. But they did give draft grades. Let me just show you another video. I'll play the video. So the cool thing about our draft thing is it'll play...
Who had the best draft?
Ring.
Probably Richie.
We got an A.
It's an auto pick guy.
Aaron.
Wow.
Aaron got the first.
A for Aaron.
At least it wasn't an F.
Come on. Me.
It's gonna be me. Oh,
Jameson, Irish whiskey.
I think he's running up.
It's never an indicator of who wins, though. Like,
There's 3 quarterbacks.
here's your guys' grade. Richie got an A-, Darren B+, Mike got a C+, Jeremy C+,
I got a D.
Morgan got a D, Barry got a B+, karaoke C-, Mike B+, Brad C+.
Picking early sucks.
Hey, you
Yeah,
did
it
great. B+.
Because you gotta wait like so long, and it's
Yeah,
like
once you pick, it's
Yeah, so that was the grades given by, what did they call this program? I forget what it's called. Our offline draft software, whatever. But then also what's cool about Yahoo is they have report cards too. So if I go back to the overview page right here on the right side, it has draft grades too, and it's slightly different. Gary had the highest grade. I don't know why it says that the best is Mike's first class team, but it says he had the best. He got the best draft award. And Mike's first rate team, that's Mike B. So that was auto pick again. So auto pick always wins. Well, the draft was good, but unfortunately for Mike, J.K. Dobbins got hurt. He like the day after they said he had his ACL torn. So sorry, Mike. That happened to him with Saquon Barkley. Poor Mike. If you need a trade, trade with Richie. He'll give you McCaffrey. All right. And what's cool about these draft grades, if you actually read to them, they sound like they're really detailed. Here's Mike B's one. Although they were stuck with the number 10 overall selection, Mike's first-rate team, Mike B, didn't let it get them down, building a roster capable of beating any team in Halawa Fantasy Football League. After picking up multiple Ravens in early rounds, Lamar Jackson, J.K. Dobbins, and Mark Andrews, Mike's first-rate team is projected to finish with a record of 11-3, good enough for third. And then, like, all these other notes, like, super detailed, as if someone actually wrote it. So I know this is probably generated with some AI thing, but it's really well done. So it's pretty cool. Yep, so that's the draft recap. So here's the grades. You guys can see it on the overview page as well. One of the things I noticed too, just because of like the way the draft results were, there was like a whole ton of running backs taken. And so the supply and demand of running backs is kind of wild. It's like, if you look for like, let me see if I can open it. Player list, and we'll do like all offense, wide receiver. What is WR? Season projections, filter. Yeah, wide receivers and running backs. Like if you look at it, the projected fan points, I don't know, this is not a good thing to look at. Anyway, just in general, like, it's harder to find quality running backs now than it is to find receivers, just because of the supply and demand. And so it got me thinking that maybe changing the flex position, obviously not this year, next year maybe, changing it to like wide receiver, tight end, and maybe that'll balance the player availability out. But that's just a thought. Anyway. All right, let me quickly go over the scoring changes this year. I did talk about it in the beginning, but this is just as a recap. League settings. Still getting used to this. We have the same roster positions: quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a flex with a wide receiver, running back, tight end, kicker, and defense. The biggest changes are running back and wide receivers more or less stay the same. They may change because I kept it at some of the default for Yahoo, so it might be slightly different from ESPN, but they're more or less the same. As usual, we try to boost our wide receivers a little bit more for that same reason that of the supply and demand thing. Just get more scoring out of wide receivers. Just makes it unfair for the running backs that catch a lot of balls, because then they become kind of overpowered. The 2 biggest changes are to kickers and defense. So if you look at the kickers, you start with a 0.5 for a field goal made, and then the rest is a fraction of field goals, total yards. So it's 10 yards per point. So like if you kick, as an example, a 20-yard field goal, that's 2 points plus the 0.5. And so if you get a kicker who can kick like long range bombs, he's a lot more valuable, obviously. And then for defense, we added a couple of extra point slots. One is tackles for loss, so it's similar to sacks, but that's kind of like for the running back side. And then 3 and outs forced, so hopefully that'll boost them. There was kind of like an interesting competitive advantage last year, and then Eric kind of showed that if you like sacrifice the kicker, you can have an extra roster spot to get guys, and that's the whole competitive balance thing. But yeah, so we tried to help the kicker just a little bit, try to incentivize using them a little bit more. So those are the scaring changes. And then the last thing I wanted to show you guys is we have a small side game in addition to the head-to-head matchups. If you look at the matchups, you can kind of like see everyone's versus. This is one of the reasons why the grading thing is kind of weird too. Like it said that Brad, who is our defending champion, we forgot to mention that. Congratulations to Brad for being our defending champion. If you look at the draft grade, he's at the bottom, D-. But the projected points for the week, I think he has the highest. So I don't know. You never know. But anyways, if you look at the matchups, then you can kind of guess who's gonna win. And so the side game is here at League Pick'em. It's at the top right of the message of the web page. So if you go to League Pick'em, it has each of our fantasy matchups, and then you can choose who you think is gonna win. I'm just like randomly doing whatever, and then submit points. And then for bragging rights, whoever chooses the most winners will have bragging rights. So that's just a side game if you want to play. One key thing that I noticed is that on League Pick'em, you can only access it on the web page. I tried to figure out how to do it on the app. If you're using the app is kind of streamlined, and it doesn't have it. It doesn't have a way to access the League Pick'em, so you may need to go to the actual web page if you want to participate in the League Pick'em. Yeah, that's it. I think that's all we got. Anyways, look forward to another season. Glad everyone could come back, play again, and we will give you an update later. All right. Bye.